Are you aware of validation? Most of the time, what happens whenever we are creating any form, whatever data we are inserting, directly we are storing inside the database. Suppose if I take an example of email, if we give multiple characters, that data also we are storing inside the database, and we are opening way too many hackers. If you are creating large application and if you have not added any security, then you are going to face lot of losses. So in this section, we are going to create simple registration form along with JavaScript validation. This will be the demo of project, and this entire series will be containing 4 sections: HTML, CSS, topics which are needed to do this project, JavaScript topics, and finally we are going to do JavaScript implementation. This is our basic registration form in which I am having username, email, password and confirm password. First I am going to type username. I will just click on submit. As soon as I click on submit, the username border has turned green, and for this I am having this error message. Email is not valid. Password must be at least 6 characters. Confirm password is required. Now for this I'm just going to remove all these characters. I will click on submit. For this also I will be getting message. Username must be at least 3 characters. Now if I give some letters, now when I click on submit, I will be getting username must be less than 15 characters. So these 3 validation I have given inside this username. Next we are going to see email. I will just give some characters. I will click on submit. As of now, we have added HTML5 validation. So we are getting this error, as well as we are having email is not valid. Now if I just give here valid email, khanam@gmail.com. Click on submit. Now email border has turned green, which means my email is successful. So now my email is valid. Now we will see about password. I will give 1, 2. Click on submit. Here I will be getting password must be at least 6 characters, and we have not given any confirm password. So I will be getting password do not match. Now I'm just going to give 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Click on submit. Now that has turned to green, but my confirm password I have not given, so it is comparing the number with empty string. So that is the reason I will be getting password do not match. Now here I will give some number, random numbers. Click on submit. Again I will be getting the same error. Now if I give 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, click on submit, the border has turned green, which means now passwords are matching. Here also I will be giving my name. Click on submit. Now all the fields, whatever validation I have given, that is being accepted here. So all the borders will be turning to green. If I just give something here, click on submit, again that validation will work and I will be getting this error. In this section, we are going to make this complete JavaScript project. If you are already aware of HTML, CSS, then you can skip HTML and CSS part. Directly you can jump to JavaScript coding and you can start creating this validation form. If you want to create this project, just save the playlist so that it will be easy for you to access it whenever it is required. Let's start with our project. This project will be divided into 4 sections: HTML, CSS, JavaScript topics required in this project, and finally JavaScript implementation. One by one, we are going to complete all the sections. For that, Let's start with our first section, that is HTML. I have created one folder, validator. Right click on this. I'm just going to open with Visual Studio Code. Folder is completely empty. We are going to write the code completely from the scratch. If you are a beginner, then also you can watch this video because we are going to do completely from the scratch, as well as we are going to see the JavaScript topics which we are going to use in this project. I will close this. First, I am going to create one file, index.html. Second, I am going to create style.css. Next, script.js. If you are working in bigger project, then we will be creating separate folder for JavaScript and CSS. As this is very small project, so directly we are going to create the file. I will close this. Now inside this index.html, first we are going to write the basic boilerplate. I will change the title, JavaScript form validator. Below this, I'm going to link my CSS file. Link, CSS file is linked. And at the bottom, we are just going to link JavaScript file. Inside this, I'm going to give script.js. This is the basic thing we have to do whenever we start with HTML. Inside body, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one container. That container will be holding our entire form and that form will be in the middle. I will create one div and for this div, I'm going to give container. I will open with live server, right click, open with live server. Simultaneously, we will be seeing the result. I will adjust this. Only to show where is our container, we are just going to keep the stylings. Container, background color, I will write yellow. Save this. Now if you see here, background color is not displayed. If I just write hello, save this. This is my container which is having the text as hello as well as we are having the background color. I will remove this. Inside this entire container, I want to display the form. And for this form, I will give the ID as form because whenever we are working with JavaScript, we need ID as well as I'm going to give the class as form. Action I'm going to remove. I don't need this one. Inside this form, I have given the ID as form as well as class as form. If you want, you can give the different name as well, but I'm going to give the same name. First, I will write H2. I'm going to write registration form. Save this. This is my form. Inside this, I am having H2. If I come here, now for form, if I just give background color, aqua, save this. Now entire form is on top of div container. So you should not get confused with that. Now for div, if I just give padding of 10 pixel, save this. Now this is my div. Inside that div, I am having my form. Later on, we are going to work on CSS part. Below this, I will create one div and for this div, I am going to give the class as form control. Most important thing, whatever names you want to give to your classes or IDs, you can give. It completely depends on your choice as well as Whatever stylings you want, you can give. If you are already aware of HTML and CSS, then you can directly move to JavaScript part. You can start implementing directly. If you want to see how forms are made, how forms are designed, then you can watch HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Inside this, I'm going to give label. Inside for, I will give username, and here also I'm going to give username. I will save this. Now this is my username. Below this label, I will be creating input field of type text, and for this I'm going to give the ID, and also I'm going to give placeholder. Enter your name. Save this. This is our input field. Now, based on our input field, we should be getting the error message below. So for that, we will be creating small tag. Inside this, we will write error message will be displayed here. Dynamically, using JavaScript, we are going to display the error message. But as of now, we will be getting this message here. Same way, I'm going to copy this entire div section, which is holding our label, input field and small tag. I will come down. I will write one comment. I will write email, and below this I'm going to paste. Again I will come down. I will write here password. Below this I'm going to paste. And finally I'm going to write confirm password, and below this I'm going to paste. And here also we are going to write username. I will select this, Control D. I'm just going to change it to email. For will be this one, and here I will just change it to capital. Enter your email. Similarly, select this one, Control D, stop it. I'm going to change it to password, and here I will just change capital P. And here also we have to write enter your password. Similarly, for this, I'm going to give the type as confirm password, that is C password. Whatever we give in for, same I'm going to give in ID. Type I will be changing it to password, and instead of username, I will write confirm password. And here instead of writing enter your name, I will write confirm password. Or you can write enter your password again. Enter your password again. Save this. Now all my fields are displayed: username, email, password and confirm password. After creating this form, the most important thing is submit button. Whenever we click on submit button, only then the form will be validated. So for that, we need submit button. Below this confirm password div, I am going to create submit btn. For this, I will give button. You can create input field as well. Give this type attribute. I will give the type as submit. And inside this, I am going to give submit. Save this. Now this is my button. This is one way of creating. Another way is using input field. Type I will give as submit, and value I'm just going to give as submit. Save this. I will just comment it out both. Save this. Now if I just uncomment my input field, save, this is my input field button. Both will be treated as button. Whichever you feel comfortable, you can use any one of the button. As of now, I will be using normal button with the type submit. I will come to CSS. I will remove all the stylings. We are done with our first section, that is HTML. We have created simple form and whatever structure is required to our project, we have completed with that. This will be our CSS section. In this, whatever previously we have done, we have created our basic HTML structure. This one. Now we are going to style and we are going to create this registration form. If you are already aware of CSS, you can skip this part and directly you can go to JavaScript section. If you are not aware and if you want to learn how to give stylings, how to give, for this I am having this border as red, and also whenever we are displaying error message, that should be displayed in red color. And when the border is green, the error message should not be displayed. So this styling part we are going to do in CSS, and using JavaScript dynamically we are going to display this error messages. So we have already created our HTML, our form structure. I will come to style.css. First thing, we are going to import our font. I will come here. I will search Google Fonts. Open this first link. And here I am just going to search for Poppins. Whichever font you want, you can select. I am selecting Poppins. And I will be selecting this one, light 300. Select this. And I am going to import. I will just copy this entire thing. And I am going to paste it here. And this will be our font family. I will copy. And here I will paste and comment it out. I will close this website. Now if I refresh my project, nothing will happen because we have not given any font family. We have just linked that one. I will be writing star. By default, in HTML, we will be having some padding and some margin. We are going to remove that. Margin will be 0. It has gone up. And also padding will be 0. And also I am going to give box sizing to be border box. And finally, we are just going to give this font family. Copy and paste. And from here, I will remove this comment. As soon as I save this, you just focus on the font family. I will save. You can see the font is changed. Now we are going to style our body. Now what I want, if you see here, if I increase the size, my entire content is on top left. But I want that in the middle. So what we will do, we are just going to give here display flex. Display to be flex. Align items center. And finally, justify content to be center. I will save this. Now if I refresh, you can see align items, justify content, and display flex will bring the entire container in middle. But if you notice here, it has not come in the middle. Why? Because we have not given height to our body. So I will just write here minimum height. Minimum height I am going to give 100 view height. As soon as I save this, it will come in the middle. Okay, exactly in the middle. Now whatever stylings we want, we can easily give this. As I am just showing you in smaller screen, so it will be displayed like that. But in larger screen, this will be in the middle. And for this, I will give background color. Background color, let me just write here F9, FA, FB. Save this. Background color is applied. Maybe it is not visible in the video, but when you do by yourself, you will be able to see white color. Now we are going to style our container, which is holding our entire form. Copy this container class. Below this, I am going to paste For this, let me just give the background color as yellow. Save this. This is my container. This is my entire container. Now what I want, first I will be giving width to my container. Width as 450 pixel. I will save this. Now width of container is 450 pixel. If I remove this, this is my entire container. As soon as I give width, this is 450 pixel. For this, I am going to give border radius. Border radius around 5 pixel. Save this. The corners will be rounded. And finally, I am going to give box shadow. Box shadow, I will give 0, 2 pixel, 10 pixel, and the color I am going to give RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.4. Save this. Now I have got the box shadow. This is our container. Now I am going to remove this color. I do not need this one. Only to show you I have given the color. Now we have our box shadow. Now inside this div container, we are having form. Inside this form, one by one, we are going to style all these elements. So first we are going to target our H2. For this, I am going to give text align to be center. Save this. The text will come in the middle. And also I am going to give some space. I will give here margin top 0, left and right 0, bottom I will give 22 pixel. Save this. From bottom I will be getting 22 pixel. If you do not want to give like this, you can directly give margin bottom to be 22 pixel. Save this. We are going to get the same result. Next thing, we are going to style our form. For this also, let me just give background color only to show you. Save this. Now this is our form. Now for this form, I just want spacing all around div container. I will give padding of 25 pixel, top and bottom, left and right 35 pixel. So I have got the padding. After this form, we are having all these div containers for which we have given the class as form control. I will copy and below this I am going to paste this class. For this, if you see, all the text are touching each other. So what we will do, we will give margin bottom of 5 pixel. Save this. Now I will be having some space for all the div containers. Below this one, I am having some space. And also we will give padding bottom of 20 pixel. Whatever values you want, accordingly you can give based on your design, what padding, what margin you have to decide. After this form control, we are having our labels. I will copy this class, paste it here. I'm going to write label. Inside div container, we have this class, and if that child is having this label tag, we are going to design that. First, I'm going to give color. I will give the value 3F, 3E, 3E. Save this. Color is changed. Now, if you see here, labels and input fields and all the small tags are inline elements. They are displayed next to each other. But I want on top of each other. In this way, I want label, then I want input field, then I want this error message. So for that, we are just going to give here display to be block. Save this. Now my label has become block, so it will be covering the entire width. Then after that, I'm just going to give margin bottom for that. Margin bottom around 4 pixel. So if you see, as soon as I save this, from below, I will be getting some space. After this label, we are having this input field. So in the same way, how we selected our label. Same way we are going to copy the class, paste it here. I want to select input fields. And this label styling has applied to all this one. Okay, whatever label tags I am having inside this div container, for all that, these stylings are applied. First, if I just write here, you can see my font is very large. So what I will do, first I'm just going to decrease the font size. Font size around 14 pixel. Save this. I will remove this. Now if I write, now it is medium size. Next, I will be giving border. Border around 2 pixel. Solid border I need. And also I'm going to give the color 999. Save this. Now if you notice here, the border is been applied. If I remove this, you can see I am having light border. As soon as I save this, I am having 2 pixel of border with this color. And also I want to give border radius of 5 pixel. Just focus on the corners. I will save this. Now borders are rounded. Now this input fields also, I want it to cover complete 100% of the width. So I'm going to give display to be block. Now it is display block. It will be displayed on top of each other, but the width is not increased. So what we will do, we will be giving width as 100%. It is going to cover complete 100% of the parent. Our parent is nothing but div container. Now for this, if I just give here background color red, save this, you can see it is going to cover parents 100%. I will just comment it out. And finally, you can see the text is stuck to that input field. So we are going to give padding so that we get space from inside. Save this. Now if you notice here, whenever I click on this, I am getting this strange looking outline. I do not want that. So what happens? So what we will do, I will copy the same thing. Whenever I focus on that input field, I just want outline to be 0. I do not want any outline. I will give proper spelling. Save this. Now whenever I click on this, I will not be getting any outline. And also I just want to change the border color. I just want little difference. If my fields I am writing something, I just want people to know they are focusing on this input field. So I will just give border color. Now if I just write here red, save this. Now whenever I hover, the border color will be changed. If you see here, the border color is becoming red. Instead of this, I'm just going to give light gray color. I will write my values. A2, whichever I have used in my project, I am going to write this. Whatever values you want, you can write. Now if I just focus on this, I can see the difference, slight difference in the color of border because I am seeing from very close. If you are doing by yourself, then you will see this difference. After this, we are having this small message. If I come here, it has to be displayed in red color. I will copy this form control, paste, small tag. For this first, I'm just going to give the color as red. Save this. I will come to my project. You can see color is changed to red. I will come here. Now I'm just going to remove this background color. Now for all small tag, color is displayed. But what I just want form in this way. So what we will do, for this parent, we are going to give position to be relative. Position to be relative. Just focus on this small. As soon as I give position absolute, save this. Now my form size is reduced. So what happens? We are giving position so that accordingly, wherever we want, we can display the message. Now if I just write here bottom, bottom to be 40 pixel. Save this. You can see bottom, it has gone above. I do not want this one. I will be giving 0 pixel, and where it should be, it should always be on left. So I will give left. If you want to display on right, you can just write here right. Save this. It will be going on right. Instead of bottom, if you want to display on top, you can just give top. Accordingly, wherever you want to display the message, using these positions based on parent, you can display this error message. I will give here bottom and here I will give left. Save this. Now my error message will be displayed here. Finally, we are going to design our button. Now for this button, we are not having the parent which is having this form control. For my button, the parent is this form. And for this form, we have given the class as form. I will copy. I am going to paste. I will be selecting this button. First thing, I will change the cursor to pointer. Now whenever I hover on this, the cursor is changed to pointer. Next, I am going to give background color. I will just write here hash FF6A07. Save this. Background color is changed. Similarly, I do not want border, so I will just give here border. Border of 2 pixel solid, same color. I am going to copy the same color and here hash paste. Save this. Border color is also given the same thing. Next, I will be giving border radius of 4 pixel. Just focus on the corners. The corners will be rounded. Next, I just want to change the color of button. Color I will be giving white. Save this. Color is changed. Now for this button also, I just want it to cover complete 100%. Now if I give here width of complete 100%, save this. It has taken complete width. And also I am going to give padding of 10 pixel. From inside I will be getting the spaces. From top I just want some space. I will give here margin top of 20 pixel. Save this. From top also I have got the space. And I will increase the font size. Font size, let me just write it 16 pixel. Save this and font size is also increased. Now still two things are left. Whenever I am giving correct data, the border line should be changed to green color. And if my validation is not successful, then my border color should be red, and also then only this error message should be displayed. I will come on top. Below this small, we are just going to write JS stylings in CSS. Okay, these stylings are very important because using these stylings based on validation, we are going to display this error messages as well as success message. So what I will do, I will copy this class, paste it here. If this class is having success class, what should be changed? Input field border should be changed. Or else, if this class is having error class, then also our border color should be changed. For this, first what I am going to do, I am going to give the width. Border width, I will give here 2 pixel. Save this. I will come to my project. If you see here, border width is not increased, and also I am going to give border color. Border color, I will just write here green. 0 to A5, 0 to F8. Save this. even after saving, I am not getting that border color. What I am saying here, whenever my form control, that is my parent div container, is having this success and error, then this input field border width should be 2 pixel, border color should be green. But if you see here in my HTML, I do not have that class. I do not have success class. I do not have error class. Now inside this div container, as soon as I give success, save this, you can see the border color is changed to green. So this success class and error class we are going to get using JavaScript based on our validation. Statically, we are not going to put inside HTML. Only to give CSS stylings, I am just putting this class. Now here, if I give error, save this, you can see again I am getting green color. For error, I should be displaying red color. I will copy this. Below this, I am going to paste. If my form control is having error, we have already given border width. I will remove this. Instead of green, I will give F13, F3F. Save this. Now, where I have given error class, for that my border is displayed. This is all fine. Statically, we have given our success class and we have given error class. Later on, we are going to remove that. But if you see here in the design, when my border is green, which means everything is fine. For that, I should not be displaying this error message. Only when I am having this red border, then only I should be getting this error message. So for this small, I am just giving visibility to be hidden. So it will be hidden now for all the fields. If I am having red or green borders, for everything this small will be hidden. As soon as I save this, you can see all small tags have gone. But I do not want this one. Whenever my error class is active, I want this message should be displayed. So I will come here. Below this, I will copy this class. If my error class is active, then what I want to do, I just want to make the visibility as visible for this small. I will give here visibility to be visible. As soon as I save, only wherever I am having this error class as active, only there this message will be displayed. For rest, the message will not be displayed. Now I'll come here. For this password, if I give error, save this, only there the stylings will be applied. For this confirm password, if I give success, save this, green border will be applied. As of now, I am going to remove these classes. Only 2 classes I am going to keep. Later on, we are going to remove all these classes. So we are done with our styling. You can see we are almost done with our styling. Next session, we are going to understand few things in JavaScript which are used in project. This will be our third section. In this section, we are going to learn JavaScript topics which we are going to implement in our project. First, we are going to see trim. Second, we are going to see caret. Third, we are going to see slice. And finally, we are going to see for each loop. And these are the 4 important methods which we are going to use in our project. I will just comment it out. Below this, I will be creating one variable. Let my name is equal to Khanam. And below this, I'm just going to display in console. Save this. Now if I open console, you can see my name is displayed. Now suppose I am having some spaces here. Save this. I will come to console. Now these spaces are also displayed. In middle if I have, that is not a problem. But I will just, you can see middle also I am having. But using this trim function, we can just remove this extra spaces. I will copy this dot trim, save this. Now if you see here, whatever extra spaces I am having here, that spaces are removed using this trim function. So whenever we are inserting data in form, I do not want any spaces. So for that, we will be using trim function. And below this, if you want to display error messages, email is not valid, username is not valid, for that, at some particular point, we should extract first character. So for that, we will be using this char at. I will come down. For this, let me just create another variable. Let fruit is equal to apple. And here I am going to give fruit. And instead of trim, I am going to give char at 0. Save this. Now whatever character I am having at 0th position, it will be starting from 0. That position I am able to extract. If I give here 2, I should be getting the result as P. You can see I got the result as P 0, 1, 2. So based on this index number, we can extract the characters. So this is also very important in our project. The string function is also very important. Then we are going to see about slice. Now suppose if I just want to extract from PPLE, I do not want A. So for that, I will just write here slice. I'm just going to give the position as 1. So from one index, I'm going to extract all the values. Save this. You can see I will get PPLE. If I give here 2, 1 comma 2, I will be getting the result of P. Because this is 0, 1, 2. So only this particular character I am able to extract. Now if I just write here 0, save this, I am able to extract all the values. Whatever I am having, I am able to extract. But I do not want except 1, except the first character, I want to extract all the values. So as soon as I write 1, except A, I am able to extract all the values. Now this for each loop is very important. It is a method in array. So whenever we want to loop all the elements inside the array, we are going to use for each loop. I will be creating one variable const number is equal to inside array. I will give some values. Below this, I am going to create one function sum. Inside this, let me return sum plus equal to n. I will write here n and I am going to pass the parameter as n. So whenever we are using for each loop, every element will be looped inside that. So when we pass this function inside for each, first time 1 will be taken as this one, it will be added to this, then 2 will be taken, then 3, then 4, like that. It keeps on going like that. I will just change it to 4. Here I will write let sum is equal to 0. Now inside this I am going to write number dot for each loop, and inside for each loop, while calling this function, you do not have to give parenthesis. Directly you can give function name. I will save this. I got this error. Identifier sum has already been declared. So I will just write here sum1 and here sum1. Save this. Now nothing is displayed. What I will do, I will just display sum. sum 1. Save. Now I should be getting the result as 15. So what happens? Whatever elements we are having inside this, for every element, this loop is going to run. First time, it is going to take 1. 1 plus 0, I will get the result as 1. For sum 1, 1 will be assigned. Then 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 3, 6. 6 plus 4, 10. And 10 plus 5, 15. So whenever we are using this for each loop, every time we are going to loop through the elements and we will get the result. Similarly, to display error messages, we are going to loop through every input fields. Suppose we have this username, email, password and confirm password. So each and every time we are not going to write separate code, same loop itself, we are going to loop for all the fields. So accordingly, we can slice, we can trim, we can get the position and we can display the messages. These are some of the topics you must know before starting with JS code. And all these topics in depth I have covered in my JavaScript series. If you have not watched that, I will be providing you the link in the description. You can go and you can learn more about these methods. Finally, we are going to start with our fourth section, that is JavaScript. Previously, we have seen topics which are needed in this project. As of now, I'm just going to remove this entire thing. Now, first, what we are going to do, whatever IDs we have given here for username, email, password, and confirm password, we are going to access that as well as for form. First, we are going to access that IDs using get element by ID. I will just create one variable. Form is equal to, we have to write this document dot get element by ID. If you want to know more about DOM, I have already created complete series on DOM. You can watch that videos to get better understanding on get elements by ID, get elements by class name, etc. So here I am going to write my ID name. In HTML, we have already given the ID. So same name I am just going to write. Similarly, I want for username, email, password and confirm password. Now I will change the name, username. This variable, whatever we are giving, you can give anything. But inside this, you have to pass the exact name what we have given for this ID attribute. Now here also, to select multiple data, we are just doing Alt. I will write email. Then next, password. Finally, confirm password. I will remove from here. Now we have accessed all the variables. Now if you see here in my design, I am having green border as well as I am having red border along with this message. Why we are getting this kind of styling? Because in index.html, we have hard coded these classes, success and error. As of now, I am going to remove this and also I am going to remove this. I will save. Now you can see whatever stylings I have given for those classes, that will be removed. I will come to script.js. If you have not watched how to style this form, how to apply those styling, you can watch CSS part. If you are giving your own stylings, accordingly you have to change the code. Now when this validation should happen, whenever I click on the submit button, only then that validation should happen. So we are going to write event listener. It is just going to listen for that event on which I have to apply. For this form, I will be writing my form variable dot add event listener. What event listener? That is submit. Whenever I click on this submit listener, whatever validation is going on, that should happen. And next parameter, we are just going to pass here function. I will save. I will just write some number. As soon as I click on submit, you can see whatever number I have written here, that is being disappeared. Because what happens whenever we click on submit button, the form gets submitted. So whatever data we are having, that will disappear. So we will be preventing that. I will write here event. Inside this, we are just going to pass one function, prevent default. I will save this. I will give number. Now when I click on submit, you can see the number is still here. If I don't prevent this one, whatever data we are having, it will not validate and directly the form will be submitted. So we are going to write this by default. Now if you notice here, whenever I click on this, I am getting this suggestion. So what happens if you are having your personal email or company email, or if you are having your username, and if you do not want people to see that, we can add one attribute inside HTML. Here, for all these input fields, I'm just going to add one attribute, autocomplete. Autocomplete is equal to off. So by default, it will be on. So we are just writing off. I will save this. Now whenever I click on this, you can see I will not be getting any suggestion. I do not want to show my personal data, so I'm just going to off that. Now what I have to check, if my username, email, password and confirm password should not be empty. So here I'm going to check if my username is equal to empty, then I should be getting one alert. Username is empty. Save this. When I write some data here and click on submit button, I am not having this alert. I will remove this. Now when I click on submit, again I am not having that alert. If I just open my console, you can see inside this also no error is displayed, which means our code is fine, but whatever logic we have given here, that is not accepting. So what we have to check, we are not going to check for entire input field. We will be checking for this value present inside this input field. So username dot value. If this value is empty, then I should be getting this alert. Save this. Now when I click on the submit button, I will be getting this alert. Username is empty. I will write some data. Now click on submit. I will not be having any error. You can just write here else. Same, I will copy. If my username is filled with something, I will write username is success. Save this. Now without filling username, if I click on submit, I will get username is empty. Now even if I write one character and click on submit, I will get username is success. First validation we are able to achieve to check if the fields are empty or not. Now what I want, instead of this alert, I just want to show the error messages. I will just open my demo project. This is my demo project. As soon as I click on submit, you can see instead of alert, I am having this stylings. Username must be at least 3 characters, email is not valid. All these things I have to get, and for this we have already given the stylings. I will remove this. For error, we are going to create one function, error message. Why we are creating function? Because multiple times we are displaying error messages. So we are creating one function, and for this success message also we are going to create one function, success message. Directly I have just called this function. We have not passed any arguments. It is not going to work. Now I'll come to my project. Now if I click on submit, I will open console. In my console you can see I will be getting this error. Error message is not defined. Now if I fill some data, click on submit, success message is not defined because we have not created the function. We have just called the function. First we are going to create the function. I will just write error message function. Whatever names you want to give to your function, you can easily give it. Function error message. Inside this, I have passed parameters. First is my field and second is the message which has to be displayed. So I'm going to give input. You can give any name and second will be the message, error message. I will come to index.html. In this small, I have to display my error message and small is the child of this div container. I will open my stylings, style.css. Inside this, if you see, whenever we are having this small tag, I will come down. Whenever our parent is having this form control, in that we are passing this error class. That time we are just making the visibility of small to be visible. So first what we have to do inside this error message, first we have to find the parent. So I'm just going to create one variable const and here you can give any variable name. Form control is equal to, this is our input. Whenever we are passing arguments, we are going to pass this variable names for username, for email, for password and confirm password. So our username parent element, parent element. I'm just going to access that parent element. Let me just write here log and inside this I will write form control. Save this. I will click on submit. I will come here. Okay, as of now, I am having this error. I will comment it out as well as I am going to comment it out. For this one, here I will pass username. Message I am just going to write required because we have to pass two arguments as we have passed here two parameters. I will click on submit. I will come to console. Now you can see I am able to access the parent element. This is my user input field. You can see ID is username. For this, using this parent element, I am able to access this entire div container. Now what we have to do? We just have to make the error classes active. I will comment it out. Not only for this one, let me just show you again. Now instead of this username, if I just pass email, save this, click on submit. Now here, when I open, ID is email and for this also I am able to access this div container. Now below this, I will write form control dot class name. We are just going to add the class name. What class name we have to add? We have to add error class. Save this. Whenever our error class is active, we have to make the small tag as visible. Now when I click on submit button, you can see here for email, my small tag is active. Error message will be displayed here. Whatever I have given here, that is displayed. But if you closely notice here, my error class is active, but whatever classes I am having inside this email for this parent form control, that is overridden. I will inspect this. Now you can see here inside this console for div class, we are only having error. Only this error class is added, but the parent class form control is overridden. So we have to add form control as well. I will just come, I will copy the class. I will just paste it. I will save this. Now when I click on submit, you can see properly I will be getting the error message. Whatever error message I have given for this small, that will be displayed. So do not get confused with this error message how we are displaying. First we are accessing the parent and in that parent we are just adding this error class. So whatever classes we are having inside parent, we just have to add all the classes here. because the classes will be overridden. Now if I just open inspect, let me just close this. Now if you see here, for this email, form control is also present as well as error class is also present. Now what I have to do, this is the message I required. So whenever this class is active, instead of this static error, I want dynamic error. I will just create one variable, const small tag. Inside this, I'm going to select my form control variable dot query selector. So inside this parent, we are having this small tag. So I'm just going to select my small. So using this, we are able to access the parent, and from parent, we are just selecting our small tag. I will write here query. Let me just write here console.log, and inside this, I will just pass small. Save this. Now when I click on submit, I will open this. In my console, you can see I am able to access this small tag. So using this parent, we have just accessed our small tag, which is present here inside index.html. Now what I have to do, I have to add this error message. So small dot inner HTML or inner text is equal to this message. Second argument, whatever we are passing here, I am just passing it here. Save this. Now as soon as I click on submit, I will be getting required. Whatever message I pass here, that will be displayed. Now if I just write here, email is required. Save this. Click on submit. I will be getting email is required. So whatever data we are having inside the small tag, even if you remove this, then also no problem. I will remove this. I will remove this. Save. Whenever I click on submit, I am going to get the error message which I have displayed here. So first thing what we have done, we have accessed all our variables. Second, we have just added event listener for our form. So whenever we click on submit button, we are preventing default submission and we are checking for this empty field. So as of now, this is username. So I will write here username, and here I'm going to write username is required. Save this. Click on submit. Username is required. Now we are going to create success message. When we have filled something, my border should be turned green. I will copy, and below this we are going to create success function. Paste this one. Inside this success function, we are not passing any message. Directly we are just displaying the border. If I just write something here, when I click on submit, directly we want the border. So we are just passing here input field without message parameter. For this also, we are going to select the same thing. We are selecting the parent, paste. Now for this, what class we have to add? We have to add success class. Copy, paste. I will save this. Now here let me just write here username. Save this. When I click on submit, you can see if the field is empty, I am having username is required. If I write some name, submit, again I am getting same message. Why? Because we have added error class. We have to add success. Save this. Now we are getting for empty. Khanam. Click on submit. I am getting green border. Okay, this is very simple. What we are doing, we are just checking if the username value is empty or not. If it is empty, we are displaying this error message. If it is not, we are displaying success message. For error message, we have created this function. What we want to select the field as well as we want to display the message. So we are passing two parameters. For success also, if you want to display the message, you can easily do it. Now this is our username. I'm just going to write username. Copy this. I will write one comment, email, then password, then confirm password. Paste it here, as well as paste it here. Now we are just changing the fields. Select this, Control D, Control D, Control D. I am going to write email. Select this, Control D, Control D, Control D. I am going to write password. I will just capitalize. Email is required, password is required, and here Control D, Control D, Control D. Again I will write password. Now I have to just write C password. C password is my field. C password, and here confirm password. Save this. Now when I click on submit, I will be getting the error messages. Now if I type something here, Khanam, it is changed to green. For email also, if I write something, click on submit, it is green. Password also, if I type something, green. Confirm password also, if I type something, it is green. As of now, we have just checked for only one validation if the fields are empty or not. Later on, one by one, we are going to apply all the validations. We will check email is valid or not. We will check for character length. We will check if the passwords are getting matched or not. Everything we are going to see, and also we are not going to display in this way. We are going to use for each loop, and for every error message or every success message, we are going to loop inside the loop and we will be displaying the message. So as of now, only to show you how we can add error class and success class, we have written this code. Next, we are going to see more about validation and we are going to apply all the validations. We are going to continue our fourth section, and in this, we are going to see how to validate email. Previously, we have seen first validation, that is to check if the fields are empty or not. As soon as I click on submit button, if my fields are empty, based on this error message, the message will be displayed. I will refresh. Now even if I write one characters, I will click on submit. The borders will be turned green. Now what we want to do, we want to check email is valid or not. For that, we will be using regular expression. If you are not aware of regular expression, no problem. That is completely fine. In JavaScript, we are going to find certain patterns using regular expression. So if you want email validation code, just type in Google email validation in JavaScript and you will be having multiple codes. If I just open any one of the link, and if you see here inside this, they have given multiple examples. The personal email part contains following ASCII characters. These are the characters, and characters like dot, it should not be okay. There will be many conditions which you can apply to your email. So you can copy any one of the code. You can see we are having multiple codes here, multiple characters. If these characters are included, that means email is not valid. If those characters are present, email is valid. Based on that specific characters, we are going to validate our email. As of now, I am having this one. I will copy this. I will be pasting this specific validation code in comment section, email 1. Close this. Above this event listener, I will write one comment, email function. Below this, I will create function. I will give my function name as email check. Inside this, what we have to display? Only the input field. Only for email we are checking this. So we are only passing one parameter. We are not passing messages because inside this error function, we have already passed this message. So based on this error message function itself, we are going to change the error message. I will be pasting the code. So what happens in between the slashes, it is going to check for all these things. If we are having this character should not be included. So basically, this is regular expression. We can include these characters. We should not include the specific characters. So using this, we are just indicating that. So you do not have to by heart this. This particular 3 lines I will be giving in comment section. You can copy the same thing, or else you can go to Google. There are multiple combinations you can copy and you can paste in your code. Now this function I'm just going to return, and what we will do first, we are just going to test this one. Whatever values we have given inside the input field string, inside this we are just going to pass this parameter. Whatever values we are having, we are just testing that one, and we are checking if that input whatever we have entered, it is string or not. And if it is string, we are just converting it to lowercase. Only this line you have to mention. Whatever values I have given, I am just testing if it is string or not. If it is, we are just converting into lowercase. So this is our basic function, email check. Now inside this event listener, we are having this email. Here I am going to write else if our email check is not true, email function name. If it is not true, the value which we have given inside the input field, then same error message I am going to display. I will write email is not valid. So whatever check we have done, if it is returning false, like suppose if I am having multiple characters like this kind of characters, if it is returning false, I am just checking that. If it is not true, then I should be getting email is not valid. I will click on submit. As of now, I will get email is required. Now I'll give some spaces at gmail.com. Now when I click on submit, I will be getting email is not valid. So using this email function, we are just checking all these things, and here we are checking if that email value, whatever it is, if it is returning false, we are displaying this message, email is not valid. I will refresh. If my email field is empty, I should be getting email is required. If I have given some random data, you can see some random things at gmail.com. Click on submit, I should be getting email is not valid. So this is the basic check for email we have done, and you do not have to by heart this entire thing. You can just copy paste from Google. Only thing is we are using same function and we are displaying this error message. We are going to continue with our fourth section. In our previous session, we have validated the email, and also we have seen if the fields are empty, we should be getting this error message. If you have not watched that video, I suggest you to watch that video. So whatever we are doing right now, it will be easy for you to follow. In this section, what we are going to do, whatever we have written here, I'm just going to remove this entire thing, because you can see we have written multiple lines of code. We have arrays, we have so many things to wrap inside one container, but we do not want to repeat our code. You can see same condition I am checking. If username is empty, email is empty, password is empty, confirm password is empty. So I do not want to repeat my code. So for this, we are going to create one function. This entire thing I'm just going to remove. Do not need this one. Now if you see here, our code is little bit cleaner. And also I will be removing this comment. Instead, I'm going to write function to validate all fields. And I'm going to give my function name as validate all. Inside this, I will just write username. Now, if I want to check for email, again I have to call like this. I have to write here email, then password, then confirm password. This also I do not want to do. If I am having 100 fields, I do not want to call this function 100 times. So what we will do, all these input fields we are going to wrap inside array, so that using for each loop we can loop this multiple times. I'm just going to write username, next is our email, password, and finally confirm password. Okay, these are the variables we have already created here. So same variable name, I'm just passing it here. Now above this event listener, I'm going to write function to validate all fields. Below this, I'm going to write function validate all. Inside this, I'm just going to write input array. As we are passing all the fields inside array, so I'm just writing input array. If you want, you can give different name as well. In our third section, we have seen topics which are required in this project, JavaScript topics. So in that, we have seen about for each loop. For every element inside the array, for each loop will be running for every element inside an array. I'm going to pass my parameter dot for each loop. Inside this for each loop, we are going to pass the function. Whatever function I am writing inside this for each loop, it is going to run for all these fields. Function for which field? For this also, we are going to pass one parameter because we have multiple fields. We have username, email, password, and confirm password. Now this input array is related to this one, whatever fields we are passing, and this input is for individual fields. I will write here log. Let me just write here input. Save this. When I click on submit, as of now, I am not having any error messages because we have removed all those conditions. I will open inspect. Now in console, you can see as soon as I clicked on submit button, I am having all these 4 input fields: username, password, email, and confirm password. All these fields are displayed. I will close this, refresh this again click on submit button. You can see all these fields are visible. How many times I click, that many times I am going to get this input fields. So each time whenever I click, all these 4 input fields will be displayed. I will comment this out. Below this, we are just going to display the error message for all input fields. I will write the same condition if my input dot value, and also we are going to remove the spaces. We have seen about trim method. Even after removing this, if my fields are empty, then I should be displaying error message. Console.log error. Else I should be displaying success. Same I will write copy, paste. I'm just going to write success. Save this. I will click on submit. Open console. You can see 4 times I am having this error message. Now instead of writing this console, we are writing our error message function. So same way we have to pass our input field. Okay, this is this one. Okay, whatever parameter we have passed, we are passing this. First time username will be considered. It is going to check for that. Second, email. Third, password, and then confirm password. And second is our message field. Let me just write here is required. And here we are going to display our success message. And inside this, we are just going to pass our input field. Here also semicolon. Save this. Now when I click on this submit, you can see this using this error message, we are getting this error. And if you notice here, for all these input fields, I am having same message here. Whatever I have given here, same I am getting 4 times. If I just write here username, so first time this for each loop will be running for username. So username it will be checked and I will be getting username is required. Again for email, it will be run. Again same message I will be getting. Now if I just click on submit button, you can see username is required. Username is required. For all this thing, I am having the same field name. That is username. But I do not want this one. For every loop, whatever is missing, that value I should be getting in error. So what we can do, we can use JavaScript template literals here. Backticks, I will remove, and here also I'm just going to paste. Now inside this, I will just write here dollar. Input field is our username. Let me just write here type. Save this. If I come to index.html, for this input field, we are having different types. Now as soon as I click on submit button, you can see text is required, text is required, text is required, and password. So whatever value we are having inside this type, I am able to get that one. So similarly, for every input field, we have given the ID. You can see we have given IDs. So easily we can just write, instead of type, we will write ID. Save this. Now when I click here, you can see username is required, email is required, password is required, and confirm password is required. So using this, we are able to access the ID and we are able to display that ID here. Now if I just write something, click on submit, now only this border will be turning to green. Now if I come to my demo project, if I just write something here, click on submit, you can see username must be at least 6 characters. And if you closely notice here, every first character is in capital letter. You can see username. But in my demo project, all these first characters you can see it is in small letters. So what we will do, we are going to create another function in that first letter of every word, we are going to make it as capitalized. I am going to create function and function name, let me just write here uppercase letter. For this also, we are going to pass input field. And what I want to extract, I want to extract the first character. So this function is going to return input field ID's first character. Char at, I am going to pass 0. Save this. Let me just copy this function. And inside this, I'm just going to wrap that function. And inside this function, we are just passing our input. I will remove. Save this. Now this input field is our username, email, password and confirm password. So when I pass this username, here I am getting username ID, that is username in small letters. I am just extracting that. Now when I just click on submit, you can see only first character I am able to extract. Now this character I want to display in uppercase. To uppercase. Save this. Click on submit. Now all these letters are in capital. You can see all first letters are in capital. Now what I want to do, I want complete username should be displayed, and rest characters from input ID we are just going to slice out. I will add here same input.id. I will be slicing out and I'm just going to write 1. So now what happens? First character, that is first character whichever it was displayed, that will be removed from here, and we will get, suppose if I take an example of username, I will get SCRNAM. From this I am going to get SCRNAM, and from this I got you. Both we are adding and we are displaying it here. Basically both we are concatenating and we are just displaying it here. And if you are not aware how to slice, how to do caret, in our third section we have already seen all these topics. Now when I just click on submit, you can see username is required, email is required, password is required, and also confirm password is required. So this is very important to understand. To capitalize first letter, we are just writing this simple function. And this function we are just passing here so that we get this dynamic error message. Next session, we are going to see the length of every letters. We are going to do password matching. As of now, for email, if I just add something here, when I click on submit, it will be turning to green. It is not going to validate the email because directly we are displaying the error message. Now nowhere we are calling this email check function and we are checking for email. Next session, we are going to cover all these topics. In this section, we are going to check for length of word. In my username, if I just write one character, if I click on submit, the border is turning green. I do not want this one. I just want to check if my character is greater than 15 or 25, then also I should be getting error. For that, we are going to write function. For both username and password, we are going to pass that function. Because for username as well as for password, we are going to check for the length. I will show you demo. This is my demo project. If I just write here one character, when I click on submit, I should be getting username must be at least 3 characters. And if I just write many letters, click on submit, I should be getting username must be less than 15 characters. So in this section, we are going to implement for that. I will remove this. Above this event listener, I will be creating function to check length. You can give whatever name you want, you can give. I am going to give function check length. And inside this, we have to pass 3 parameters. First is input field, second is minimum value, and third is maximum value. So based on those parameters, we are going to call that function and we are going to display the error. So I will be passing input field. It can be username. It can also be email. If you want pass for email, you can easily do that. Minimum value as well as maximum value. In this, I am going to check if my input field value, if that value's length, if it is less than minimum value, then I should be displaying the error message. I will just change the spelling. I will be displaying error message. Else if my input value dot length, if it is greater than maximum value, then also I should be displaying the error. Else, finally, I should be displaying success message. And inside this, we are just going to pass our input field. Okay, this success message, we have already created the function when we started our fourth section. Now inside this if this is less than the past value, then I should be getting, it should be more than this minimum value. So for that, we are going to display our error message. Inside this, we are going to pass our input field. And second, how we have passed here, you can see we want uppercase letter as well as we are passing this function. So what we will do, similar way how we have done previously, template literal, and inside this we are going to call this function. Inside this function, we are going to pass this attribute. And here we will write must be at least, we will write minimum value. Save this. Now if I write and if I click on submit, it is not going to work because we have not called that function. If it is greater than maximum value, I am going to display the same error message. Instead of this minimum, I am going to write maximum. This username must be less than 25 characters or 15 characters, whatever we pass while calling the function, that number will be displayed here. I will save this. Now I am going to call that function, copy, and below this I am going to paste. Inside this I will write username. Minimum value let me write here 4, maximum let me write here 20. Save this. Now when I click on submit, I will be getting username must be at least 4 characters. Now if I just write more than 4 characters, I will be getting green borders. If I write many characters, when I click on submit, I am getting green border. Let me just change here maximum. Save this. I will just type it again. Now when I click on submit, I will get username must be less than 20 characters. So similarly, we are going to pass for password. Let me just write here password field. Let it be 4 and 20. Save this. Now here for password, if I just write here 3 characters, submit. Password must be at least 4 characters. If I write many numbers, when I click on submit, I will get password must be less than 20 characters. And here I'm just going to write less than 20 characters and more than 4 characters. Now when I click on submit, the password border will be turning green. So using this check length function, we are just checking for the length. If you are creating multiple fields and if you want to call this function, you can easily call and get the result. Now we are going to check for email. Previously we have written one function to validate email, and later on when we combined all the fields, we have removed that function from else if condition. So now for this email, we will be calling that function, as well as what we are going to do. If I just type something here and when I click on submit, the border will be turning green and it is not going to validate because we have not called the function. If my email is not valid, then I should be getting the error message, email is not valid. So I will come to my email function. This is the function we have written. Now what we will do, we will just remove this. Instead, we are going to check for the condition. If our result, whatever test we are doing, from here, from email input field, what value we are passing, from that we are just going to trim. If we are having any extra spaces, we are just going to remove that. And after removing that, if it is successful, then we are just going to display our success message. Success message, inside this we are going to pass input field. Else, If it is not successful, then we are going to pass error message. We will pass input field, and next we will write the message email is not valid. Save this. Now if I just write here something, some random numbers. Now when I click on submit, again I am going to get this green border because we have not called that function. So calling function is very important. I will copy this function, and below this length I am going to paste, and inside this I am going to pass email. Now I will save. Now I will just write here some random characters. Click on submit. Now I will get email is not valid. So using this function, we have just validated our email. Let me refresh. Finally, we are going to check for password and confirm password. Above this, we are going to write password match function, check password. Inside this, I will pass here password 1 and password 2. And in this function, we are going to check if our password 1 dot value, if it is not equal to password 2 dot value, if it is not equal, then we should be displaying the error message stating passwords are not getting matched. We will write error message. Inside this, we are going to pass password 2, that is confirm password. Passwords do not match. I will save this. Now below this, we are just going to call that function check password. And what we have to pass? We have to pass password field and confirm password field. I will save this. Now here I will just write 1 2 1 2 1 2. Here 1 2 1 2 1 2. Click on submit. Both has turned green. If I just write here 3 4 and here I have not written anything. Now when I click on submit, I will get password do not match. Here we are passing this password to field, which is our confirm password field. So for that confirm password, we will be displaying the error message. So this comes to end of our project. We have seen how to create HTML form. We have seen how to give styling to that, and also we have seen how to give styling to those CSS part which we are going to implement in JavaScript. JavaScript topics like trim, slice, caret, we have seen multiple methods, and finally we have implemented all the function and we have done basic validation for our form. Whenever you are doing real project, validation is must, because if any user is filling your form and if they are giving some random data, that data should not be inserted inside the database. So validation is very important in live projects. So as of now, this is the basic validation. But in real life projects, there will be many conditions. Like for password, there should be at least one number, one capital letter, one special characters. So all those conditions we can pass in if and we can get the result. So this is the basic validation we have done. I hope you enjoyed doing this project. If you have not watched previous videos, I suggest you to watch those videos because it will be your flow and you will complete this project. Share this video with your friends if they want to learn validation, if they want to learn JavaScript, share with them so that even they can get to know about this project. That's all for this project. Thank you so much for watching this.